you just got yourself a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, or the newest PlayStation, or the newest Xbox. Whatever you do, you do. Basically, you're thinking, oh no, COVID's coming. Mom and Dad, or, me, got a console. Costs a little bit too much money. So you're thinking to yourself, wow, I wish there were some games that I could play. Well, there is. They're called free-to-play games. Free-to-play games are wonderful. These are games you can download and just pick up and start playing for free with a bunch of different varieties, whether it be a racing game, cooperative games, shooting games, fighting games. There's a lot of free-to-play games. Here's the catch, though. Free-to-play games aren't technically free. Free-to-play games, you can play as much as you want to of that game, on most games at least, as much as you want to of that game, and you can just start playing right away. But they want you to go ahead and probably spend some money later on some nice stuff. Mostly cosmetic, though there are a few games like Warface. Kind of like Warface for a reason. The reason is that people will usually spend a whole bunch of money on the game, or just $20 here or there, but they'll spend a whole bunch of money on the game to get better at it, like they'll spend on a golden gun. Well, I personally like to just use, the Browning 911, or the sniper rifle, or the M4A1. I like to challenge myself and take on people that usually spend a lot of money, and I usually do pretty great. I usually get 20 to 30 kills a game, and I like to challenge myself. So that's usually where I take that game. Honestly, I don't feel like it. If you feel like, here's how you should pay money on a free-to-play game, in my personal opinion, but I think a lot of people would agree with this. If you really like the game and you think the developers of whoever made it, or the company whoever made that game is worth your time and worth your money, and you like that game a lot, you should put money into it. Hopefully Apex Legends is coming out in the future, and I'm really hoping it does come out in the future, on the Nintendo Switch. Back when I used to play it on the Xbox, I spent, I think, about $40 on it. Why? Because it's fun. It's probably one of the better battle royales that I've played, and it's worth my time and money. Another fantastic game that is out is a game called Spellbreak. And with Spellbreak, you basically are in a battle royale, but you're casting spells and just combining spells and teaming up with your teammates to fight against other wizards. And it's really fun and authentic. And so I put money into that. And I really encourage for people to spend money in those kind of games that you actually personally like. Would I spend money on Fortnite? No. Not gonna happen. I'm not gonna spend any money on Fortnite. I don't think it's that good enough of a game. I don't think it's worth my time, although you can play it on really anything. But there's games like Fortnite that you can play these battle royales. There's other games that are like fighters. Brawlhalla is like a Smash Brothers clone, right? But with Brawlhalla, you can have multiple different characters, and you can unlock them in the game, or you can pay money to unlock those games. And so it has a really good balance of just fun and, like competitive play and combos and stuff like that. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And if you don't like Smash Brothers and you want to play with characters like from the WWE and Rayman, and it's very weird. You can have a variety of weird characters in that game. Go for it, because it's a fantastic and fun game. Free-to-play games are great if you just have, maybe you're getting, tired of playing that really long Legend of Zelda game, like Breath of the Wild, and you're like, hey, I just want to sit back and play a shooter. You got that. Maybe you're really tired of catching Pokemon all the time, and you really just want to throw down with your friends in some Rocket League. You can do that. And I'm mostly talking on Switch games here just because I have a Switch. I've played on other games that are free on other consoles. And I usually play free-to-play games probably about as much, about half is free-to-play for me, and then the other half is games that I have purchased like to play. I keep a good variety of those. Another wonderful game that you've probably been seeing thus far while I was talking is Ninjala. Nintendo themselves have created free-to-play games like this, and it's fantastically fun. It's quirky and like Nintendo, and it's random RNG, and you can battle multiple people, and it's free-to-play, and everything weapons you get, it's mostly cosmetic, and therefore I have my character. I didn't put any money on it, just because I don't really feel like putting money into the game. But I'm doing really well with just except when I got killed there. I'm doing really well for baseline stuff. And so free-to-play games are a great way to fill up your library. If you really, really like the game, then give them money because they're worth it. Games are about $60, maybe $70 nowadays. So if you were going to spend money on that next Halo game or the next Call of Duty game, you can at least give them $20 of a good game. If you don't like them, or if you don't have the money, don't feel bad. If you don't got the money, don't feel bad. It's a free-to-play game for a reason. You can still play it, play with the community, have fun with it. So definitely don't feel bad if you can't afford it, especially if you're a kid and you've got the money for it, because there's nothing wrong with it at all. There's a lot of free-to-play games that are really for everyone. I really encourage you just to pick up a free-to-play game, give it a chance, because a lot of the times it's pretty fantastic. I have to personally say my favorite free-to-play game right now has to be Spellbreak. I think I've put the most hours in it thus far, just because even if it looks not the greatest on Nintendo Switch, I still love the idea of using my tactical mind to combo spells and to get my advantage of my opponents, getting the high ground, because that's exactly what Obi-Wan wanted us to do. Throw some rocks on the high ground, light them on fire, die Anakin. But no, seriously, this game is fantastic, and even though I sometimes play a variety of other games that are completely different from each other, it doesn't mean that they're bad. Sure, Call of Duty is going to be way better than Warface. Most games aren't going to, most free-to-play games aren't going to be this fantastic, amazing budget type thing, but they are pretty easy to get into, free to play. You don't really lose much from it. All you do is just waste some time downloading and playing the game. If you don't like it, chuck it. Doesn't matter. And if you got some real money and you really want a game, don't spend some money on a free-to-play game. Go ahead and go out and treat yourself. Get that nice game that you've been wanting to get. Maybe a Red Dead Redemption, Cyberpunk, if it actually works. But I definitely encourage you to at least spend some money on a free-to-play game. But just remember, you don't have to. A lot of consoles have different free-to-play games that you can't get into because there are different things like Valorant is mostly for PC. We're definitely not coming to consoles, even though that really does hurt Valorant as a free-to-play game to not come to consoles. The fact of the matter is it's still free to play. It's still made by Riot Games, which makes League of Legends. It'll still stick around for a long time. I understand that sometimes spending money on a free-to-play game is very scary, because you might hey, I put money into Dota, or I put money into specifically just other, I'm trying to think of games people don't play anymore, but I'm pretty sure people still play Dota, obviously. You're worried about putting money into a game that you think is not going to last long or stick around forever, which is fair, because, you never know if someone's going to stop supporting a game or not, but that happens with other games, too. Sometimes the online stuff doesn't work, and us Nintendo players, we know that well. A lot of times the Wii U or the Wii will no longer get support, or you can't play anything online with them anymore, because there's no dedicated servers. I think PlayStation 3 probably doesn't have any dedicated servers anymore, so you definitely can't play on those either. So it's very daunting to put money into a game, into a digital game that you don't physically own, that you enjoy. But honestly, for a game that's free, that's coming on the console, that you can play as much as you want to, I definitely wouldn't pass it up. Honestly, I think you should treat free-to-play games as they are, and you should just play them for free. But if you really love the game and you love what they're doing, support them. Don't do what Apex Legends does, and you'd spend $20 for one pack of their special thing. It's insane, and they're egregious, and mostly because it's EA and not Respawn. But it's EA. So if they're being egregious, don't give them your money. Teach them a lesson. Don't be an idiot that decides to spend all of their money on a thing, and so that the corporate business thinks, oh, this is a great idea. Let's keep them spending more money. Don't do that. Don't be a whale. Whales are when people usually go out and spend a whole bunch of money on something, and just because they can, and they want to, and they want to collect all that crap, because they can and they have that kind of money. These are the people that have a 9-to-5 job, that only play those free-to-play games, and they just want to get the best out of the game possible by spending $300 every time an event comes up. So just definitely watch yourself. You can go down a slippery slope like Genshin Impact and stuff like that. I don't know how to say it, whatever. But you can go down a slippery slope. But just enjoy the games that you love. Support the creators. Pick up a free-to-play game. You ain't got no money for no Cyberpunk. It ain't working for you anyways. So just go ahead, pick out the free-to-play game, get with your buds, game like a gamer should, and you guys have a great one.